Oh, thank you for the compliments on my avatar. I had it commissioned from an artist named... Earthquakes are scary. I had it commissioned from an artist named Pandream. She did really good work. I, like, told her everything I wanted. If you look closely at the card, it's actually a Grandia reference. If anyone noticed that, the card on the avatar is a Grandia reference. A lot of people don't know where the card comes from, but any true Grandia fan would know that it does come from Grandia. But, it's a perfect blend of Grandia, Final Fantasy, and Tales of, which are like... But Tales of and Final Fantasy are my favorite franchises. Although Wild Arms is really, really close. And then I just love Grandia a lot, so... I kind of just combined most of my favorite games and franchises. And that's kind of what my character's reminiscent of. I need to get more art commissioned. I need to get, like, I need emotes, and I also need... I need emotes mostly, but other than emotes, I need to get, like, other stuff done. Like, a YouTube banner? I need a YouTube banner. I need to get that done, but I need to, like, figure out what I want. But a YouTube banner would be nice. A Twitter banner might even be good. I need some other art stuff. Emotes especially is, like, on the top of the list.
Alright, we won!
Okay, yeah, quadruplets is for 4. And then quintuplets is 5. And then I guess sextuplets would be like 6, right? Did you give me a contact? Are you in the... I can give you her Twitter. I have her Twitter. Or her email. I have her email. Prunky, are you in... You're in the Spirit Stone Discord, right? I'm in that Discord, so I can find you on that Discord and I can send you her email or her Twitter, whatever's easier. I'd be glad to give you her contact info once I'm done with stream. But I'll do that gladly. Yeah, she made my avatar character because, she did the avatar character of a YouTuber that I really like, who I got a lot of inspiration from. So I learned of her through that YouTuber slash streamer. But, I haven't done emotes yet. I really gotta get on that. I've been kind of slacking on the emotes, but I really gotta get on the emotes. That's what I need right now. 7TV is great, by the way, for some quick, easy, free emotes. I will consider that. Oh, you got fire away. I didn't even realize that. I'm too busy talking with chat, which is a good thing. I like talking with chat.
Here goes!
Yeah, Sue's going insane. She goes hard with those darts. You got this. I believe in you. Get the kill. I'll look at 7TV. I don't know what that is, but I'll look at that. The only emotes I have are Yuffie from FF7R. And I also have Coco from Crash 4, which I bought from someone's, like, shop or something. It was actually the artist that did my avatar. She made those emotes, and I, like, paid money to have them on my channel. But I was thinking of, like, commissioning my own emotes, like some Grandia ones, some Final Fantasy ones, maybe Tales of, maybe even Wild Arms, because that's a new addiction I have. But yeah, I definitely want to commission my own emotes at some point. I just haven't. I've been kind of slacking on it a little bit, but I definitely want to do it. Are darts bow weapons? Yeah, darts are considered bows. It's just throw. They call it throw in Grandia. Throw is the weapon. They just consider it throw weapons.
Here goes!
We're all close together. I think Burn will do it. Sue, definitely do this to raise your Earth level. And also just because defense up is nice. Although you might all die from this. I kind of hope not, so the digging actually procs. Ah, yeah, I was afraid of that. I feel like Grandia could need a proper remaster to fill in some plot holes here and there every time I play it. I'm curious. I'm respectfully, like, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but I'm really curious in, like, what you feel like needs... Because I'm sure most of us have played Grandia, right? It's like, I'm really curious what you feel like needs covering up. Like, I love this game. I played it a lot, and I'm not just being biased. Maybe I am, actually. But I honestly feel like it doesn't necessarily need plot holes, but I'm curious what you think. And maybe I'll, like, kind of agree with you. Because off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that's, like, unclear about the game, I guess, is how you would word it. Actually, defense loss would have been better because there's 4 of you.
You can't get away with that!
It's a browser extension you can add to your browser of choice. Has a lot of emotes you can use. Thank you. I will consider doing that after stream. I'll look into it at least. Maybe I'll get those. And then I also did want to maybe commission some of my own emotes, because I know the streamer I was talking about prior did that as well. So I would like to do that. I just kind of been slacking. I'm a college student. I don't have much time to think about that stuff. At first, college was my excuse. Like, right now, I have no excuse because I'm, like, on winter break. But before college was my excuse. Now I really have no excuse, but I am busy with other stuff. But even then, I just haven't thought about it. But I do want to commission some emotes. And I'll look at 7TV. I'll look into that. Maybe I can get some, like, pre-made ones at least. Just to freshen things up. Easy and free for a small streamer like me. Yeah, that's a good point. The thing is, I agree with you, because I didn't want to invest in anything too big, because I'm not like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm not a big streamer. I'm keeping it a buck with you. The fan base I have is small, but I appreciate people who watch, but I have a small fan base. So I guess I never really considered getting stuff, because I'm just like, yeah, I'm not the biggest YouTuber, so I never really thought about it. But, like, that's kind of something I was like, oh, once I get more, like, attention, I'll think about that stuff, and then I just kept putting it off. Not to my own fault, it just kind of happened. But yeah, one day, probably, and I'll definitely look at that 7TV thing. Hello. Justin's the only person that ever thought about crossing the end of the world. I mean, we know the Garlau forces prohibit the visit on the excavation sites. We never got a hint that the end of the world is prohibited as well. It sounds off to me. Some peeps discovered that huge wall and said, I'm sure there's nothing behind it. Let's call it the end of the world. That's a good point. That's actually a good point, yeah. I never really thought about that.
Oh, flame,
but yeah.
burn 'em.
I'm not saying Grandia's story and lore is perfect. So, I mean, yeah, I can agree with that, maybe, to an extent. I never really thought about that, but... yeah, I'm definitely, like, this is my favorite game, but I don't think the lore and story is perfect, but... I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm glad with the game we got. But would a remaster with clearing up plot holes be good? Yeah, I'd be down for it. If they did add some more to it. Adding more lore, you can never go wrong, as long as you don't, like, screw it up. Oh, poison. As long as they don't, like, screw it up, I'm honestly down with it, you know? It's kind of like, yeah, I can take an expanded version of Grandia, but, you know, I don't need it, I guess. I'm perfectly happy with the finished product, I guess, so I don't really think about, like, oh, what if Grandia was different? That is interesting, and I definitely see what you're saying. You know what I really want? I really want Digital Museum to get fan translated. Anyone else? Any other Grandia fans upset that we didn't get Digital Museum in the West? Or the remaster didn't add Digital Museum? Oh, that would be great if we can play Digital Museum. Because I don't understand Japanese. Oh, I'm not asleep again. Alright, Justin's awake. We're fine. We have a lot of HP. A Digital Museum is what I really want. Even if someone like fan translates it at this point.
All right,
I will say that's the biggest miss with the remaster. The remaster should have added 2 things. A hard mode for Grandia 1, like Grandia 2, and it should have added Digital Museum. Digital Museum probably is a big ask. At least a hard mode, though. Because they made Grandia 2 have a hard mode. They should have gave Grandia 1 a hard mode. I know the Redux patch exists, but, like, officially, they should have gave it a hard mode. That's my opinion, though. That's something that should have been added with the remaster. Also, maybe a cutscene skip for if you're playing the game subsequent times, because a lot of remasters have cutscene skips. Not all of them, though. Looking straight at FF10, that doesn't have a cutscene skip. Love that game to death, but always appreciate a cutscene skip for refighting bosses and speedruns or whatever. How much did Guido have to plan in advance to get Sue just in time there to convince Justin not to give up? And if he plotted the whole thing from the start, why couldn't he just prevent Guy from being reborn in the first place? Go ball, yada yada. Oh, you're talking about the end of the game, like towards the end.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, like, now that you're saying these things, they make sense. But I guess they don't really bother me, you know? Like, I'm not saying you're wrong. You have valid points, definitely. And if what you said gets resolved in, like, if they were to make another Grandia and your stuff gets resolved, I would definitely, like, be happy about it. Don't get me wrong, but it's also stuff I don't really, like, I guess doesn't really bother me. But I'm not saying your points are, like, your points definitely make sense, and I agree with what you're saying, but they just don't bother me, I guess. And I'm kind of like, I kind of just, like, you know, go with the flow. And I think the story works fine for what it is. And Grandia isn't even my favorite story, even though it's my favorite game.
Oh, flame burn.
My favorite story is probably Tales of Berseria, like, for plot alone. And Berseria is, like, in my top 5 games of all time. But it's interesting to see a different perspective. I think hard mode of Grandia 2 really killed the dramaturgy of the boss rush after Core Valmar. Oh my word, you share my opinion?
Earthquakes are scary.
Grandia 2's hard mode was good outside of the body of Valmar boss still sucks. The one you fight, like, inside Valmar, and then, yeah, the final few bosses in Grandia 2. I think it was,
Pretty easy.
it was a boss in Grandia 2 I did in my recent playthrough. I think, there was a boss, I think it was, like, Zera's first form. On hard mode, it was, like, ridiculously strong. So, yeah, I agree, hard mode wasn't perfect for Grandia 2. But when a game is as painfully easy as Grandia 1, it would have been nice to give a hard mode option for Grandia 1. Was Grandia 2 hard mode perfect? No, not at all. But I think, for the most, like, 80% of it was good. I think, the body Valmar still sucked. That boss still sucks. And then, I think, as well, like you said, like, the last few bosses were overly difficult. Oh, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, no, definitely. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm agreeing with what you're saying, definitely. I think it's interesting, though. You have a really nice perspective on this stuff. I like talking with people who have a different perspective on stuff like this. It's really cool to, like, talk with people about a game and people saying stuff or noticing things that, like, you never thought about before, or, like, that caught your attention or something. I think it's really cool. Having in-depth conversations like this about games and stuff. It's really fun. It's great to meet people who are passionate about the game as I am. I very much appreciate the discussion and all. And I see where you're coming from, definitely. RetroArch might decide to fib, so I'm gonna save state. FF10-2 did it dirty, gave you a skip, but if you missed 100%... Did you? You missed 100% in 10-2 if you skip cutscenes? Really? I think you're right, but... That's crazy. 10-2 also, like, 10-2 was a halvesies kind of thing, wasn't it? In 10-2, you can only skip cutscenes, like, some cutscenes. I think it wasn't even all cutscenes. I think there were some cutscenes you couldn't skip. But 10 was the worst offender because you couldn't skip at all. And as much as I love 10, when you lost to, like, Unaleska or Seymour Omni, it got annoying to have to rewatch that cutscene. And the final boss. Ba-ba-ba-bum.
Oh, flame burn 'em!
After you beat Core of Valmar, you usually beat up the pieces in the pretty weak Zera. Oh yeah, after the Core of Valmar, I think the Core of Valmar was super... On hard mode, the Core of Valmar was like... stupidly difficult, I remember. And then I remember you had to fight like all the body parts separately, and then you get to Zera, the final boss. You do it with like Ryudo, Elena, Millennia. The evil guy, yeah, the evil guy in Grandia is like super weak. Yeah, I get what you're saying. That makes sense, honestly. That's valid. I think Grandia 2's hard mode was mostly good, but it could have been... I think the last few bosses were rough. And also, mostly the Core of Valmar was rough. And the body of Valmar still sucks. That boss sucks even on normal mode, but it just was made even worse on hard. And especially by the fact that you like can't backtrack. That's like the worst thing about that boss. Not being able to leave that place to like get some extra levels once you get to the save point or something. That makes that part even worse. It's like the heart of Valmar or something. So wait, I need to... Let me look at stuff. I wanted to get your axe up. Yeah, we're getting mid-air cut with you. Sue, I'm just working on her throw. Probably just getting to Puffy Fire at this point. Getting to level 12. You can get Burn Flame at level 4. I would just work on your fire a little bit if I can. Then Feena only... Oh, I should have went back. You know, I was at New Parm. I should have went back to give Feena Howl. That's my bad. I don't know why I didn't consider that. I should have gave Feena her wind and probably like the other element I was going to give to someone. Yeah, Feena, I want to work on your whip a little bit more, I think. And with Justin, I want to keep working on axe levels.
Now I'm really angry.
I felt like Melphis was easier than normal mode on... Or hard mode Melphis was harder on normal. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, dude. It's been 3 years since I played Grandia 2. I played the hard mode for the first time 3 years back. I don't remember, but I believe you.
Here goes!
I don't think Melphis was too hard on hard mode. From my memory. From the one time I played it, I can't recall if he's easier on hard than normal. But, I mean, I don't think Melphis was, like, too hard to begin with. Or I used to have trouble on Melphis when I first played, but now I don't have trouble on Melphis. It's kind of like a Boda and Symphonia kind of thing. Aw, I can't W break. No confusion. I don't know how long confusion lasts. Hopefully not long. You're hitting the bird anyway, thank you. Oh, and you hit the bird too, good job. Alright, you gotta go. Both of you gotta go. Only finished Berseria and Voice of Card game. Otherwise, I'll always start over after a break because I forgot where I was. FF10 ended up in the Thunder area. Wanted to play and Black Ixion kept appearing and... Oh, that sucks. When you get to, like, the end of 10 and the Dark Aeons, like, screw you over. Yeah. That can happen with, like, Valifor. Because Valifor is in Besaid. And you can't go back to Besaid at the end of the game until you kill Valifor. I know the feeling. Also fair, if you don't play a game for a while, you want to start over. That was me before I started streaming.